Morning, everyone. Well, welcome to the second of this semester's history spots, it being the Ides of March, portentous day for the second of our history spots. The first spot, the first reason knowing our history makes us better off, if you remember back, was because we all need heroes with warts. And today, the second reason we're going to be looking at is because we're all snobs. We need to know our history because God knows that we are snobs. Don't think of yourself more highly than you ought, says Paul to the Christians in Rome. Don't show favoritism, says James to the Jewish Christian diaspora. Don't be a snob, said C.S. Lewis. I'm paraphrasing Lewis, by the way. Don't be a snob, a chronological snob in particular. And by that, Lewis means, Christian, don't fall for the trap of thinking that the way we do things is the way they've always been done, that we are so much cleverer than those who've gone before us. Don't be like the country bumpkin, says Lewis, with all due respect to anyone who may identify as a country bumpkin this morning. Don't be like the country bumpkin who, quote, has the cocksure conviction of an ignorant adolescent that his own village, which is the only one that he has known, is the hub of the universe and does everything in the only right way. For our own age, with all its accepted ideas, stands in the vast extent of historical time, much as one village stands to the whole world. In other words, don't be a snob, a chronological snob. Left to our own devices, our gravitational pull is towards provincialism, a provincialism of time as well as of space. What's the remedy? Well, history, says Lewis, throwing open the shutters, opening the metaphorical doors and windows, and in Lewis' famous turn of phrase, letting the clean sea breeze of the centuries blow through our minds. Appreciating the past doesn't come easily, naturally, for us living in the 21st century. We're natural-born snobs, chronological snobs. The world we live in tends to equate newer with better and older with obsolete. If the young are our future, then the old are over the hill. The air we breathe encourages historical amnesia, forgetfulness, a neglectfulness of the past. Not, of course, that there's anything magic about the past, says Lewis. People were no cleverer then than they are now. They made as many mistakes as we, but not the same mistakes. They won't flatter us in the errors we're already committing, and their own errors, being now open and palpable, won't endanger us. His advice? How to cut snobbery off at the pass. It's a good rule after reading a new book. Never allow yourself to read another new one till you've read an old one in between. Two heads, and by that I take it he means one in the past, one in the present. Two heads are better than one, not because either's infallible, but because they're unlikely to go wrong in the same direction, he says. Now, it's worth clarifying, Lewis was a sola scriptura kind of guy, no less committed to the Bible than we are here at college. But he also helps us to see that none of us think or live the Christian life in a vacuum, historical vacuum. As evangelicals, we've always privileged the Bible as our ultimate authority in matters of faith and practice. But we also know that at its core, the Christian life is intergenerational and communal. On the one hand, it's every generation's unique responsibility to embrace the faith that was once for all delivered. None of us directly inherit the faith of those who've gone ahead of us. But on the other hand, we also stand on the shoulders of those who've gone before us. As we run this race, we're not running it alone. Yes, we have each other, but we're also being spurred on by a cloud of witnesses cheering us on from the sidelines in heaven. Why are we better off knowing our history? Because there's no place for snobbery in the Christian life, not least chronological snobbery. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, says Paul. What a privilege it is to learn from those who've gone ahead of us, who being dead, yet still speak.